Fart some tavern.
Most kingdoms built walls to keep monsters out. Nimbral built an army to hunt them in the sky. I rode with those knights for 30 years, and I can tell you this, Pegasi were never the most terrifying thing we encountered above the clouds. The stories I'm about to tell you are the reason the flying hunt still patrols those storms today. For generations, pirates and ruthless corsairs emerged from the mists without warning, while sea harpies swept down from storm-shrouded cliffs to carry away the island's people. By the time the watchtowers sounded the alarm, the raiders were already vanishing into the mist, leaving burning villages and empty homes behind. At last, the Nimbral lords accepted a truth no kingdom before them had dared embrace. Instead of waiting behind walls, they would carry the battle to the enemy, claiming the skies long before invaders reached their shores. From that decision were born the Knights of the Flying Hunt, hunters of every threat that dared emerge from mist, sea, or storm. Now listen carefully, recruits, because many who stand where you stand today believe their journey begins with a Pegasus. Before a recruit is ever allowed near the stables, they spend months learning how to survive the sky itself. Along the western cliffs of Nimbral, towering training platforms overlook crashing waves hundreds of feet below, and it is from these wind-swept heights that young riders learn their first lesson. Every knight eventually falls. They cross swaying bridges that creak and twist, leap between platforms that shift with every gust, and balance on narrow beams while gale-force winds try to throw them into the sea. They practice lance drills until their arms tremble from exhaustion and spend countless hours studying aerial tactics and learning to read the sky as a hunter reads fresh tracks, sensing every shift in the wind, the weight of the air, and the warning of a coming storm. Before you can hope to guide a Pegasus, you must first learn to master yourself. Throughout your training, someone watches. Commander Baltier Merivolts rarely speaks during these lessons. He does not need to. His eyes miss nothing. His standards forgive nothing. Some of you will earn a nod. Most of you will earn another climb before dawn. Only after a recruit has proven they can survive the sky and move as one with it, are they deemed ready for the next lesson. Then, and only then, are they brought to the high meadows where the Pegasi roost. Here you will learn a truth no instructor can teach. A Pegasus does not accept a rider. It chooses one. You may train for years, but the choice is not yours. When a Pegasus lowers its head to you, your real training begins. I once watched a young recruit spend nearly a year attempting to earn the respect of a silver-winged mare named Brightwind. The final trial is fought in the skies. Rider and Pegasus must dive, climb, and turn as though they share a single heartbeat. A shift in balance becomes a warning. Eventually, the bond becomes so complete that words are no longer needed. Commander Baltier judged every final trial himself. He rarely offered praise. Only then were you entrusted with the glassteel armor of the Flying Hunt. Forged by the finest smiths of Nimbral and bound to a single wearer, it shimmered with shifting colors that reflected the spirit of the knight within. Wearing it for the first time, I entered the Hall of Lances behind Commander Baltier. Every lance within those halls belonged to a knight whose final patrol had ended, while nearby, the loyal Pegasi who had shared their journeys through the skies were remembered with equal honor. I still remember the day Commander Baltier gave me that nod. It was the closest thing to praise I ever received from him. The following dawn, I rode my first patrol beneath his command. Our first patrol took us north along Nimbral's rugged cliffs after shepherds reported livestock disappearing from the highland pastures. I remember gripping my lance so tightly that my hands ached, convinced every shadow hid some terrible monster. Commander Baltier never looked concerned. He simply scanned the cliffs as though he already knew what we would find. Then the mountain roared. A manticore burst from the rocks with a fury that shook the valley, its great wings scattering sheep in every direction as volleys of barbed spikes tore through the air. Instinct told me to charge. Baltier ordered,
Hold formation!
Only then did I understand. A lone knight fights the monster before him. The flying hunt fights as one. At Boltier's command, our squadron split apart, surrounding the beast from every direction. The manticore twisted wildly between us, unable to face every lance at once. Moments later, it crashed lifeless against the cliffs below. The battle lasted less than a minute. The lesson stayed with me for the rest of my life. Years passed, and with every patrol, my respect for Commander Baltier only grew. Each mission was different, yet every victory began the same way. Baltier always knew exactly where every knight needed to be. The Manticore had tested our courage. The next trial would test our very souls. One autumn, reports reached the capital of a forest where the trees had begun to wither beneath a spreading blight. Livestock vanished, hunters failed to return, and those who escaped spoke of a winged fiend twisting the land with foul magic. Discovering how such a creature had reached Nimbral was a task for the Nimbral lords. Ours was far simpler. Destroy the threat before the blight consumed any more of Nimbral. Long before we reached the forest, we saw the damage it had already done. Below us, the forest had become a blackened wound upon Nimbral, and circling above its poisoned heart, waited the winged abomination we had been sent to destroy. Baltier's orders came without hesitation. 2 riders swept low to lead the fleeing villagers to safety. Another pair climbed high to cut off the creature's escape, while the rest of us held formation, leaving the fiend nowhere to flee. Only then did Commander Baltier ride forward. The battle lasted only a few minutes, yet I can still picture every moment. Baltier never hesitated. Even when one of the fiend's great serpents sank its fangs into his Pegasus, neither rider nor mount broke their charge. They remained perfectly steady until the creature finally fell from the sky. Only after the battle did the Nimbral lords send their chosen arcanists to examine what the creature had left behind. That day, I understood why every knight trusted Commander Baltier with their life. He never sought glory for himself. He simply carried the burden no one else should have to bear. Between patrols, life in Nimbral returned to a peace that felt almost untouched by the troubles beyond its shores. Humans and half-moon elves lived side by side, while our Pegasi wandered the high meadows without reins or saddles, free to soar wherever the winds carried them until duty called once more. While Nimbral's children grew up beside them, friendships forming long before either child or Pegasus was ready to fly. Those quiet days reminded us why the flying hunt existed. Every patrol, every wound, every fallen knight had purchased another season of peace for the people below. I sometimes watched Commander Baltier standing alone above the cliffs at sunset, his Pegasus grazing nearby as though both warrior and mount understood that even peace demanded vigilance. Then, little by little, something changed. The Pegasi grew restless. Veterans who had laughed around the evening fires began exchanging uneasy glances. Patrol reports spoke of storms appearing where clear skies had stood only moments before, and more than one rider returned convinced that something had been moving inside the thunderheads. Commander Baltier never spoke of his concerns. He simply ordered larger patrols. Then came the day Commander Baltier ordered the largest hunt I had ever flown. More than 30 knights answered the call, and none of us needed to ask why. Every Pegasus had fixed its gaze upon a bank of black clouds gathering above the western sea, where no storm should have existed. Baltier studied the horizon for only a moment before giving a single command.
This day we fly for Nimbral! Charge!
As we drew nearer, it became clear that the storm itself was not moving. Something inside it was. The battle that followed has never truly left me. Thunder swallowed every cry as nights disappeared into walls of black cloud, reappearing only for an instant before charging again. Lightning revealed only fragments of the thing we fought. Vast wings, impossible shadows, and eyes that seemed to burn from within the storm itself. Even Commander Baltier appeared impossibly small against it. How long the battle lasted, I cannot say. Inside those clouds, time itself seemed to lose all meaning. When the last echoes of thunder finally faded, the storm slowly drifted west across the sea, carrying whatever nightmare had shared the skies with us. We returned to Nimbral. Not everyone did. The official records declared the creature destroyed. I never believed them. The only time I ever saw doubt in Commander Baltier's eyes was the day we left those clouds behind. Years later, a young knight returned from a night patrol claiming something vast still moved within the western storms. The Nimbral lords sealed the report before sunrise, and no one ever spoke of it again. Perhaps he imagined it, or perhaps there are still things above the clouds that even the flying hunt cannot destroy. Those of you still wishing to join the flying hunt, share this tale with your fellow adventurers, share, like, and subscribe. If the Pegasi choose you, I'll see you in the skies above Nimbral.
Lances forward!